where QR codes kill kittens and customer service is an oxymoron, one podcast has set out to make things right. This is the Unpodcast.
Eyes on the prize. That is true. We should talk about... Hi, everybody. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Unpodcast. Established in 2015-ish.
Ish. Or so.
Eye on the prize. That's a good...
Kinda.
Yeah.
We should change it every time. 2015, kinda. Maybe.
Just put...
Sorta.
And then I don't know,
We
2013? Question mark? I don't know. Anyways, Wayne told us to keep the eyes on the prize. So we're figuring out what the prize is still. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the prize
It's like certain
is.
phrases and stuff. I looked into this because I was going to put it into the talk. I'm still going to work it in somehow because I want to make people feel stupid. And so with this is like, what phrases are we misusing or we've cut off? And there's multiple that we use today that are the opposite to what they actually mean.
Okay.
So one,
Yes.
when somebody says something and it's always about family or something, people say blood is thicker than water.
Yes. That's
But
what they say.
The phrase is blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb. It's saying the opposite. It's saying the bonds you seek out and create and foster can be stronger than family. But people use it to say family.
exact
It's the
opposite.
opposite of it. It's like that's the first one I give. That's only a taste. Another one will come up once I remember the next one. But it's like so many of these phrases are just like we throw them out there. Like no, it's like the what is it? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah.
There's a full phrase to that though, and it's like something else is ripping you off. I'll figure it out. But there's like all these phrases we use, and I'm trying to use it as a bit in the talk.
It's something I said, and then this guy copied it.
Yeah,
That'd be a funny end.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Scott. She's Allison. This is the Unpodcast, the
And
business show for the
I think
Fed
I
Up.
get to have our first story today.
I think so.
Yeah. I was wondering, and this sounds like I'm calling you out for something, but when was the last time...
I don't like the preface of that remotely
When was
right
the
now.
last time we went to the movies?
Oh my God!
And that's
When was the
not-
last time you did anything for me? Here we go again on the show.
That is not what I
Might
meant.
as well call the show Unsatisfied because when have we gone to a
What
movie?
I mean was, for real, do you remember? Do you
Yes, sir.
remember
Yes, baby.
the last time we went to a movie?
I
Like
do-
in a theater?
Honestly,
I don't remember
District
either.
9? Maybe? I don't know. 13?
No, that wasn't the last movie. I was
But
trying to remember.
Honestly, literally one of the Thor sequels or something.
I feel like it's partially because now that our kids have gotten a bit older and they don't live at home, I feel like we used to go to a lot of movies, like
When you
to
take
take
them,
the kids
yeah,
to the
for sure.
movies.
Like honestly, I think the last one I did in theater had to be. Good Lord, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't
honestly,
remember.
It must have been 7 years now. I've been in theater.
Yeah, so this is from Variety.com. And the headline says Gen Z goes to the movies. Younger audiences are driving the box office, study shows. So who says young people don't go to the movies? During the pandemic, Hollywood worried that Gen Zers would never get into the habit of going into the theaters, preferring streaming on their smartphones instead. But Gen Z is now the most active cinema-going, that's hard to say, cinema-going demographic, attending more films per year than their elders, according to a new Fandango study. They're also spending way more per visit on concessions and on premium seats, like from IMAX movies. And it says, what a relief for theater goers who are struggling as overall attendance lags 20% behind pre-COVID years. Exhibitors largely attribute this decline to fewer new releases from major Hollywood studios. Fandango surveyed 7,000 adults, 5,000 of whom considered themselves moviegoers, or people who went to one or more movies in the past year. By generation, 87% of Gen Zers and 82% of millennials saw at least one movie theatrically in the past 12 months, compared to 70% of Gen Xers, which is what we are.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're going to way more movies than we are. It says motivations vary.
That's why I'm not going, because they're going.
It says motivations vary. Millennials treat moviegoing as an escape from daily routine, while Gen Zers see it primarily as a social activity, which is a ridiculous comparison because a social activity is also an escape.
But also, don't be social at the movies. Quiet. Just be quiet.
Well, this may be, you may have found the link. Do you think? Do you
Yeah.
think we're going less because they're going more as a social activity?
Well, here's part of the issue, because also now you always hear the second.
I think it's awesome.
But you also always hear second screen. Second screen is something that is said in so much now when it comes to media, to the point that there's a famous interview that Matt Damon was part of. It might have been literally for Variety.
Was it for Variety?
But possibly.
Yeah.
But it was talking about how movies are now made with in mind that the viewer is not paying attention. They're on another screen, and literally, so Netflix has an edict from them: you must restate the main plot point 5 to 8 times in the movie. We're going to rob this bank. We're going to rob this bank. We're planning to rob this bank. Like literally, he pointed it out, and then they pulled the clips from the movie 7 times. They had to restate it because they're not focused. So my question is then: is this where you do focus?
Yeah.
Or is there a second screen? Because if you second screen in a movie, I want you to go to prison. If you put your phone on and it lights up the movie theater, you should go directly to jail.
I think straight to jail.
Directly to Tommy Texter.
I think also there's something like that statement that, first of all, Hollywood is putting out. I think the less movies coming out is also important.
Right.
I'm going to feel bad because I can't remember which actor said it, and I don't want to miscredit the actor. But very recently, I think in the last 2 weeks, there was an actor at like a screening where they were asking questions. And they asked about this, and he said that he felt as though that it wasn't the audience's job to fill the theater, that it was the movie, like it was the industry, it was the creator's job to fill the seats. And so they're also like, it's always a balance. Sometimes when I read stuff like this, it also like pulls me in another direction where I'm like, well, but the idea that more people, especially young people, are going to movie theaters, I think is a good thing. Like we were talking about concerts.
But one of our kids, Owen, too,
loves movies. Goes and sees everything in the theater.
He looks 3 months in advance for tickets for IMAX for certain things. He mostly only goes IMAX.
Yeah.
And he loves film and he loves going to see it. But I also watched a really interesting video yesterday, and it brought up a thought-provoking point, which was if a movie doesn't, especially if it doesn't go out in distribution into theaters. So they use an example of a smaller movie that came out on Netflix a few years ago with well-known actors, but more of an indie style film, not looking for mass audiences, but a well-written film.
Yeah.
And this guy had mentioned it because he enjoyed it. He really enjoyed it. He went back to watch it again. He realized it was made by Netflix, but full movie, 90 minutes kind of movie. It's gone.
Yeah.
Off Netflix. And then he made the point, which means it's gone. Period.
Yep.
It does not exist. There is no place in the world that you can find this movie, watch it, stream it, buy it. That's not something we've ever dealt with.
No.
Missing media, like a disappearing media, because they didn't put it on a format that permanizes it, like makes it a DVD or a cassette or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then Netflix, they just decided to not have it anymore.
And I think that studios are investing more in those kinds of movies that go straight to streaming.
Right.
So I think also that impacts the quality necessarily in the movies that are going into theaters. Like it, I just think that you can watch a lot of new movies are coming out on streaming services.
But there's the danger of not having tangible products when it comes to media.
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
Wayne, I don't mean to pull you into the conversation here, but
we are.
When it comes to recording, when it comes to artists, just as a sentiment for how you feel out there, what percentage of people who are recording an album, or does anybody, not produce a physical copy of the album?
I'd say a pretty large portion.
So it's almost all like digital versus there's not going to be a tangible product to it?
Yeah, a lot. Unless people are like pressing vinyl.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're not pressing CDs, right? So it's vinyl or bust, right?
But people lose their work. Things get taken down and they lose their work forever.
Yeah, it's a huge problem of like tons of missing albums and tons of missing movies.
And movies and films and everything. The work's gone. You can't. And if you've sold it, like if your work is sold, let's say through, then you don't own it.
That's what I mean.
Imagine if our books could just disappear.
The person who sold that movie to Netflix too, who the writer and everything else, they're like, it's gone now.
Yeah, it's a problem that we should think about.
And you can lose an album or many albums, right? Obviously, when you're recording too. You never thought about that when you're going in to say, this will never come out physically.
That was something.
I even have stuff that I've worked on that I can't find it.
You can't find the stuff you've worked on?
Other than the hard copies that I have of the recording.
Yeah.
That's scary to me. It's kind of like it really just vanishes and there's never a trace. And it's, wow. Something to think about, y'all. That's what we do on the On Podcast. We
ask the big questions.
The On Podcast, brought to you by nobody. It's a great story. The headline is a tech company spent $500,000 on a tropical retreat. Everything went horribly.
Oh.
Horribly wrong.
See, right in the middle of that sentence, I was like, we should do that. And then you said the rest of the sentence.
Well, let's use this to help plan the show retreat.
Okay, I'm ready.
Because we've done a few trips with different people from the show. We've done what? We've done Las Vegas. We've done Nashville. That's pretty much the two, right? Yeah. We've done Burlington, Ontario as well, which is in the...
We went to Toronto, I think.
Toronto,
once.
we've done, I think, things. Maybe Etobicoke has been fun. So a trip meant for bonding turned chaotic as staff faced medical emergencies, unsafe conditions, and a resort that couldn't keep water or electricity running.
All right.
120 fully remote employees. So this is the first time they got together at tech company Plex were promised a tropical week-long corporate retreat in Honduras. Instead, they got something different and much worse. The company, according to the new Wall Street Journal report, spent roughly $500,000 on the trip, which was designed as a survivor-style experience. Okay, well, hang on a second. I thought they went to a resort and they were getting a massage or something and a hurricane hit. They actually set it up as a complete with team challenges, beachside bonding, and light competition. CEO Keith Valeroy, inspired by him and his wife's love of the show, planned to act, you guessed it, as host-like figures similar to Survivor's Jeff Probst. This guy drops $500,000.
Because there's nothing that Survivor is more famous for than people getting along. Like, it's not about stirring tension.
The notorious stab people in the back and hope they get malaria show is how you build a team. This sounds like the helicopter rescue.
Like, you literally vote someone out. Like, it's not a team building exercise.
What builds trust more than the show the literal flagship show that showed us how to not trust each other?
Yeah, that's its whole thing.
But before the retreat even began, things started to unravel. When employees arrived at the resort, Valerie was already secluded in his hotel room with a severe E. coli infection. Let's just start off the old day one.
See, that never happens to Probst.
May not make it down to the opening cocktail reception with you. Quote, Keith woke up the day that people are coming in Sunday morning and he is sick as a dog.
All right.
The Plex co-founder and chief product officer, Scott Olachowski, said, according to Wall Street Journal.
So I'm making a list for our trip. So Scott doesn't get E. coli.
And no E. coli.
Okay.
Valerie later tracked it back to a salad. Okay, right. There you go. As I've been saying, nothing good comes out of salads.
Is that why you chose this story?
This is literally why. It's the whole story.
Yeah.
It was because the salad gave everybody E. coli.
This is the whole story.
So this episode is actually about how I am
allergic to
salad.
Okay.
So Valerie later traced back, quote, I was like, I've got to have a salad, just one little salad, he said. So I got E. coli. I lost 8 to 10 pounds. They had a doctor come to me. They nailed an IV bag to the bedpost.
I gotta have a salad, just one little salad.
Even without the CEO and the host of the Survivor-style games, the retreat persisted. But long before arrival, warning signs had surfaced. Sean Hoff, founder of Moniker Partners, the agency that planned the retreat, said the hotel's general manager abruptly emailed that he was leaving just weeks before the event. Days later, the head chef also departed. I knew something was off. Yeah, they're leaving the island, man. God damn, what's the movie with the hamburger?
The
movie with the burger.
What kind of? Oh, the chef, and he's.
Because you know what I'm talking about.
Menu.
The menu is it? What's the one where to eat the? And then they spoiler.
Yes, it's menu.
Thank you, menu. Okay,
Thank you.
Fines.
Yeah, fines. Yeah, it's that one.
It's that.
I want a cheeseburger.
Yeah, no. It's that. It's that. I get it.
Apology accepted. But long before the event.
I did not apologize.
Then employees landed and soon took a long bus ride down dirt roads to reach the resort. As they approached, some noticed guard towers and armed personnel. People with machine guns and stuff. It's the end stuff that concerns me, because what else, after the machine guns, missile launchers? Like grenade, what's the stuff?
It was the whole vibe, Scott.
A lot of people were like, where are we going? Which I think is a legit question at this point. Then the challenges came. First task required teams to lift covers off platters and eat whatever was underneath. For some, that meant a dead tarantula. They didn't say this is Fear Factor. Amazing. Where's the horse penis for the next one? When I opened it, it was a tarantula. Sean Eldridge, Plex's head of business development and content. This is great content, by the way, Sean. Just let's eyes on the prize here, man. Let's look here.
Sean did great.
I just grabbed it and did it. Pretty horrible, not gonna lie. Those hairs.
Oh, God.
I have so many jokes right now, and I'm just not gonna.
Stop it.
7 just crossed my mind, and none of them made the cut.
No, they're not coming through.
We have family here, by the way.
Yes, they're not
coming. By the way, on the show,
the...
it's Jody's birthday, by the way, everybody. So everybody just
everybody say happy birthday to Jody.
So my sister-in-law, also Allison's sister.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Amazing. So what's up, Jody? Jody's in the recording room.
I apologize, Jody, that he thought of you while talking about tarantulas.
Eating tarantulas.
Okay, keep going. Jeez. You invite someone to the podcast. on their birthday. And
okay, well, all right. Also, Jackie's here as well. So, and Jackie, I thought of you because other activities were more physically demanding. Employees were instructed to army crawl across the beach in roughly 100-degree heat. Some participants passed out from exhaustion. So, this is the best retreat ever. One of the biggest mistakes was hiring a former Navy SEAL to pump the team up, Valeroy later admitted. As I'm in my room dying, I could hear them out there doing all the drills and yelling, and I'm in here thinking, this is terrible, but it sounds terrible out there too. In one drill, an employee accidentally crawled into a fire anthill, leaving her covered in bites. The medical area didn't have any regular antihistamine. So they're like, oh, we can shoot some into your butt cheek. That was a first for me. Conditions at the resort only made things worse. Water, electricity, and showers were unreliable. Aww. A heat wave intensified the strain.
These poor people.
Hoff himself began experiencing heart palpitations from dehydration. After being hooked up to an EKG machine, a doctor warned him, you are stressing your body to the maximum. Even the accommodations weren't safe from chaos. Senior software engineer Rick Phillips said he woke up one night to a loud crash. The next morning, he discovered the cause. A porcupine had fallen through the ceiling in his room. There are porcupines falling from the sky in this guy's room. By the time the retreat finally ended, employees were ready to leave, but even that didn't go as planned. Flight back to the mainland were delayed, forcing the group to stay an extra night. At that point, there was little left to do but embrace, guys, there's nothing we can do. Let's just make the most of it. So they found a beach hotel and drank beers.
Well, that's what they should have started with.
That would have been the start of the retreat. Exactly.
That's what they should have started with. Oh my gosh.
So Jackie and Jody, we apologize that
Festival.
tarantulas and having to go through Navy SEAL Beach brought you into the segue, but welcome to the show. We're glad you like it. And we promise the crew we won't do a retreat like this. We will not do a Survivor-style retreat. However, Wipeout is not off the table.
I'm not doing that.
The show Wipeout is still on the table.
I'm not doing it.
We will be the hosts.
I always wipe out. I can wipe out on a slippery deck. I don't need a big...
We can be the hosts of it. It'll be perfect.
Oh, you don't want to do it either.
Oh, I would die. I would love to do it. First obstacle, I've broken 17 bones. In traction, and the problem is then you have to deal with that.
You want YouTube live. That's what you want. You want to be live and watch people falling and crashing. One of your favorite genres.
I cannot stop laughing after people falling. I cannot. I could laugh at it when I was 12. I am now 51. I watched a video this morning and somebody fell down their front steps and just did the old whiff.
Oh, I married a bad person.
Because it's not me. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, you're not.
Because as I take the header off our steps, it's not very funny.
You should think about that, though.
I will.
I think this guy also should think about what he said. So this is an article from Fortune where the CEO of a company called Bupa, I don't know that company, but it says craving work-life balance is a huge red flag, says Fortune 500 Europe CEO. And like Barack Obama, he happily works through the weekends. So Bupa's CEO says that if you're obsessing over work-life balance, the problem isn't the hours, it's the job. When the balance of your life becomes a topic, then you have a problem, he exclusively told Fortune, because no one else asked him probably. You need to like your job to not feel your life needs to be balanced, okay? So essentially in his eyes, needing to separate life from work with a hard 5 p.m. cutoff doesn't make sense when you generally love what you do. So if you're constantly counting down the hours to the end of the day, it's probably a sign that something fundamentally isn't clicking. He says he loves running his 16.9 billion euros a year company with over, it says 100,000? That's crazy. Yep. Employees. So much, he thinks about it all the time, even when he's at the gym lifting weights with his 23-year-old son. So, and they go on to look into his schedule. I'd like to read just the highlights. He says when he's not running his multi-billion euro healthcare company, he is still very much in work mode. It's just that he doesn't feel pushed. Like he's always having a great time. He wakes up at 6:30. By 8, he's in meetings. He works all day. And to him, this is 100% totally necessary if you want to succeed. And they said that basically, yeah, you have to like your job. So if you don't like your job, change it and then work 24 hours a day. This seems like horrible advice to me. Can you imagine he runs a health company?
I'm going to say a blanket statement.
Okay, I'm ready.
And I don't mean everybody.
Except?
everybody who's a CEO of a billion-dollar company does next to no work. I'm going to say that again for everybody at home. The CEO of any billion-dollar corporation does next to no work. They do meetings, and they are there for their status and relationships with others in the same position. Anyone listening that takes advice from somebody who doesn't live in the real world like this
Definitely not real.
is set up for failure. The reason leadership like this says these things is because they want you to shut up and just do your job. That's it. Work-life balance is not a myth.
No.
Enjoying your life outside of work is not a myth. But there are people out there that'll make you feel lesser because you don't give every ounce of energy you have to the job they pay you for. And those people are psychopaths.
The thing that really bothers me about it is you start reading it and you get to a certain point where you're like, okay, there's something in there. I think
delusional.
No, I'm not saying his opinion. What I'm saying is I started to think about obviously if you like your job more, it doesn't feel as much like work.
Of course,
and I'm but what I really hate about this is that especially that it twists. Do you hear it? It twists a very normal kind of thing to think,
yeah, it's
which
where the
is
hook
that
is. Yeah.
you're right. I would not be counting down to Friday as much if I love my job, except that what you need to love your job is a change also on your job's part.
The fact that it's him saying that it's up to you
That.
versus the conditions him and his company have given you to deal with.
It's 100,000 people,
It's like
apparently.
sending your employees for resilience training again.
I wonder what they think. I wonder what the 100,000 employees would think.
Instead of looking at what are we doing to our people that's forcing them to be more resilient.
Yes.
That's the difference. But they don't look. We had a chat recently with leaders in a city, and we had chit chats with them about all these different things. And I spoke to a president of a major Canadian company about this.
Yeah.
And it was revolving around remote work and return to office and all the BS that's happening with that. And I gave him all of the things. On average, saves $800 a month per employee. That's a 10 grand raise you're giving your people without even opening the bank account for the company. That the return to office is disproportionately affects everybody except people like me.
Yep.
Women, people of color, any minorities, any immigrants, anybody with disabilities. Huge impact to them. I gave all of these things, raising your children, cost of child, everything, including also just less stressful.
Yeah.
Environment as well, commuting, all of those things. You're literally giving time back, the most valuable thing ever. And I also told him, though, if I was young, coming into the workforce, and I had that drive to want to climb the ladder as quickly as possible, I'm coming into the office early, leaving late, shaking hands, kissing babies. If I don't have kids, that's my thing, fine. But I told them, you need to understand that most people aren't like that and shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because it's a carrot dangling thing, because
People
there's only
without
one.
kids deserve to be out there having their lives
There's
too.
one job above them, and
Yeah.
you're trying to get 20 people to show up and stay late so they can eventually get that job, which they won't because you'll make it an external hire.
Yeah.
So you do all these, and I told him all of these things. But he said, well, Scott, what you're not thinking of, though, because I love when that happens, is that what about in 15 years from now when she, because he says she, when she would, when the kids are older and now she wants to climb the ladder, but she's missed 15 years of building those in-office relationships.
Oh, I would have punched him for...
And I looked at him and I said, 78% of people in a recent response on a global survey, 78% of people want remote work.
Yes.
And he said, yeah, well, that's just a survey. If you ask people if they just wanted to get money and never work at all, they'd also say yes. This is the president of a current large Canadian company who makes the decision on return to office.
Yeah, we're not comparing yeses. If I asked you one ice cream, everyone would say yes.
Yeah,
That's
I'm like,
not
what
we're
is
comparing.
that? How is that your comparison?
Yeah.
They have told you.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is, because it ended, by the way, the conversation ended the way they always do when I take people to task about return to office. Always. Right? This is 15-0
Yep.
with senior leadership at large corporations. I've gone, one-on-one with this at events. Like, I mean, and I do not back down on it.
No, it's awesome.
One-on-one. Yeah. And it usually ends with, we should probably stop this conversation from somebody. It always, 15 times now, always, and this is my goal, is to break them down to this point, which is, I think the CEO should be able to decide what they want to do with their company.
Yeah.
Because I said so is what the reason actually is. Once you get away from the data, once you get away from the surveys, once you get away from all the BS they're telling you, and the serendipity and the hallway conversations and the culture, which they know nothing about, it's because I said so.
Yeah.
I'm the boss now of this company, and I get to say what we do. And then you say, I think we should return to office. And then you turn to your subordinates and say, what do you think? And they say, I agree, boss. And you're like, see, everybody wants to. I promise you right now, if you're listening to the show or watching it right now, and you have your people coming to the office right now, you are not an exception to the rule. 78% of humans around this world want to remote work.
Yep.
And everybody we also talk to who has the people come in say they're the exception. You're not. You want this. You can have this too. It's your company. I'm not the sheriff of your company. Do what you have to do. Do what you want. But don't tell me you're doing the best thing for your people. Don't tell me you know how to lead people. And don't tell me you're making their lives better and you care about them, because you don't. People's lives are more than their job. Now, yesterday, and tomorrow. And the sooner you recognize that, the sooner the people working in these scenarios won't feel like it's work. And then we'll commit because you give a damn about them. I've lost my mind. I'm so sorry.
No, I just think we should leave it there.
Yeah, that's it.
To be honest with you.
So pretty much Scott just said all CEOs of billion-dollar companies are morons. And so we're going to pick a different career now.
Yeah, and I think we should start planning the retreat.
So retreat. Everybody, yes, retreating. Okay. We also saw a great the rescue, the downed helicopter rescue simulation was also cool.
Yeah, we saw one where they drowned an airplane as well.
That was cool too.
I seem to remember. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the escape room. So I think.
Or Canada's Wonderland. So one of those two we'll figure out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
As long as any of them involve funnel cake.
We'll make Wayne and Adam record it. It'll be great.
Yeah, perfect. Done.
Bye, everybody.
See ya. Bueno.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and visit theunpodcast.com. And remember, friends don't let friends use QR codes.